Can you be successful project manager without PMP certification? Answer is very simple. Yes, you can. I personally know a lot of good project managers who are not holding any certification at all. Because it is not PMP or any other project management certification which makes you good PM. So if this is not it, what makes you good PM? Today we'll focus on that. Today I will answer this question and I will give you my recommendation based on my 20 years of experience how you should grow and develop your project management career. My name is Peter. I am professional project manager with PMP certification and PhD degree. I was running global projects for more than 20 years. And in this channel, I'm sharing my experience with you. Let's dive in. Thanks to the fact that I am PMP certified myself, and I did my certification back in 2009, I can tell you from my experience that PMP helped me mainly in getting hired, in getting position I wanted as a project manager. But once I landed in this position, it was other skills and other important items I should know about in order to be successful project manager. So regardless whether you are already PMP holder or you are just starting your career, I think that independently from certification, it is also worth doing other things. So growing your skills as a project manager, not only official certification. Okay, so what I would like to start with today. First of all, I would like to focus on communication because on average, every project manager in every project is communicating up to 90% of their time. And it is extremely important because in order to be successful project manager, you need to know how to communicate with your project team. You need to know how to communicate with broader team, I call them, which is project stakeholders. You need to be able to communicate with project sponsor or your customer. Every type of this communication requires a bit different approach. So as a basic skill, you need to know how to communicate with people in an effective way. You need to be able to express yourself in the way that people understand you. But at the same time, you need to be active listener. So this is a two-way communication. It may sound very obvious, but I have seen a lot of PMs failing on communication, failing to run meeting in an effective way, to achieve the goal of the meeting, failing to update stakeholders in a way that they are up to speed with what's happening in the project and they are able to interact with the project team. And I have seen also project managers failing to communicate in the right way with the customer. Second area on which I think every project manager should work on and develop him or herself is leadership. So you need to know how to lead your project as a whole. You need to know how to lead your project team. And also every day, every hour, you need to have the skills to lead meeting, to lead difficult conversation so that you are achieving what you would like to achieve on a given meeting or given workshops or given call with your customer, for instance, or your project sponsor. So these leadership skills are, I think, second importance straight after communication. So if you would like to be effective and successful project manager, you should develop and work on your leadership skills. And of course, it depends where you are today. Maybe you have these skills as a natural talent, because some people are born with that. Maybe you have these skills developed to some extent from other professions you are doing before coming to project management field. That's fine. But I just want to mention that after communication, you should focus on leadership skills if you would like to be successful project manager. Okay. Third skill slash area on which you should develop yourself and improve your skills and knowledge is about negotiating. So yes, negotiations happens in the project every day. So you are negotiating resources with line managers. You are negotiating timelines with your project team or vendor. You are negotiating budgets with your project sponsor. You are negotiating user requirements with users' representatives, and so on and so on and so on. So as you can see, it all comes together. So these are interactions with the same people I mentioned and the same roles I mentioned when I was talking about importance of communication and leadership skills. So now we need to add this third block, third puzzle into this. So these are skills and knowledge how to run negotiations in a professional way. So you need to be good negotiator. You need to have this knowledge how to negotiate. And no worries, I will teach that in my channel. Okay, and the last area I would like to mention today, area of personal development I would recommend to every project manager, regardless of their stage of their career. And it is ability to manage priorities and ability to manage time in an effective way. And what do I mean by that? So in a lot of cases, project managers are running 2 or 3 projects simultaneously for the one organization. But even if you have only one project, then potentially it is a quite time-consuming and quite complex project. And you are interacting with a lot of people. Every day you have a lot of meetings. There are things which are popping up without asking you. So yes, you can plan your whole week ahead. You can plan a whole month ahead in your project with the very detail. But reality will always chase you and priorities will keep changing and you need to stay on top of that. So you need to know how to manage priorities. You need to do it relatively quickly, because I always recommend for the successful project manager to have some free time during the whole week. If you are packed and you are working between 8 and 10 hours on this project every day during the week, so if there is a new issue coming up, or there is some person from your project team coming to you with some important item, you won't even have time to discuss it with them. You won't even have time to prioritize that on your list, on your radar, in your head. And it is extremely important, because timing in project management is everything. Timing is king, because sometimes if you delay sending important note to the customer by 2 days, or you delay your meeting with project sponsor by 1 week, a lot of things may change and you may lose some important window to cover some issue which is popping up. So yes, this is important. So you need to first have the skills and be well organized to manage your priorities, your time, and also support your project team in managing their priorities and their time. But I always recommend for the project manager to be like working on 80 up to 90% of his capacity, and always have this 10% of your time in your back pocket. Okay, I'm not saying you should sit idle in this time, but maybe you should have this time spending on some less important things. So if there is some priority item to jump on, you have this space. Because if you work like that, if you arrange your working environment that way, you are becoming much more successful because you have time to react. And as I said, timing in project management is everything. Okay, that's all I have prepared in this video. Thank you very much. Good luck and goodbye.